Hate is not really the opposite of love. In the idea that hate is sometimes just one step away from love, you may have realized in the last lesson. All it takes is a transformative moment of understanding, compassion, and realization to go from hating a person to not. But what happens when you don't have any feelings about someone's well-being, humanity's at large, or even your own, and you feel just numb inside? Something far more dangerous in the world than the emotion of hate is actually apathy. Apathy is a feeling of loss of motivation in life and a feeling like you are emotionless or can't react emotionally to something that you should normally be affected by. Whereas the fires of hate can be soothed by the waters of love, with apathy, it is up to the person to awake within themselves by some moment of allowing themselves to feel something within. It's a known trait of serial killers, narcissists, and sociopaths, and those who do unspeakable crimes, and sadly a symptom of many illnesses that affect the mind and nervous systems such as Alzheimer's disease or brain trauma, and even depression. It is the trait that is often talked about in the dystopian futures of a tyrant trying to create in everyone scientifically so that peace is reached. But at what price? Always in these movies, it shows that the lack of feeling is what drives the human experience towards joy, no matter what the emotions may be. The conflict between robots and humans is that since robots do not have the ability to feel through their wires and metal bits, humans feel that robots would show apathy and eventually not care to take over them in a robot revolution. The reason why I included it in the emotional unit of teachings from the Pleiades is to bring awareness to a reason why some beings do what they do, and to understand not only their fellow Earth beings who may act emotionless at times, but also those who are not from Earth, who do the things they do to humans and animals right now. Although feelings of numbness or no feelings that is described as apathy can be experienced through illness as a mind defense mechanism, it also can be brought on by consistent denial of your emotions over time. A form of denialism of feelings can take place within a being, and over a very long evolutionary period time in a species. A whole species can become apathetic towards others and themselves. Now you may know why some alien beings have been able to do what they do to humans and animals without a care, taking them in the middle of the night and using them for experiments and leaving the bodies drained of blood and vital organs to have farm animals littered on the ground of rural areas takes a moment of apathy. Or how some humans have had negative experiences and wish they never were abducted by aliens that did not seem to care too much about them in the process. In many ways, the ways that humans treat animals in the food industry is a direct reflection of apathy already a part of the human collective towards animals. The questions arise about how to make sure that apathy does not take over a race and become their main trait and quality. We learned in the lesson on the Greys, they are humanoids that represent a future of humans that could alter themselves genetically so much that they cause a mutation and evolve to a point where they no longer can have children on their own or look different from one another. They represent a possible future timeline of some humans that forget what it is to be human and look towards science to transform them. Part of the trait of apathy towards humans in the Greys is it is a genetic mutation on trying to eliminate their pain. They believed a long time ago that science could cure the pain of childbirth and emotional suffering in this world through drugs, and then later mutating the DNA strands of emotional makeup of a human being. They thought that they would be helping themselves by not feeling pain anymore. They could become unstoppable and more successful as a species without the pain. However, now they are correcting mistakes of their past and are within the collective as they are to act as a warning to humans now. This future could be subtly linked today to the idea of having medicine or drugs try to neutralize your emotions, both over-the-counter prescriptions as well as illegal street ones that take away the pain temporarily of people. But Here we are reminded that it is a temporary high and a numbness of feelings. And when they come down, the life situations and challenges still exist within their life. Denying your problems or numbing them through drugs and alcohol do not make them go away. Apathy can also be something that happens in a personality that focuses on the outer world of successes, looks, materialism, too much, out of balance with the realization of what really matters deep inside oneself. Even technology can be a big part of this because it is your mind focused on the net world instead of the one you walk on at times. There are many cases where psychologists are seeing a rise in apathetic nature towards one another, and the obsession with technology can be the culprit, because you are desensitized to real-world problems as they happen in front of a screen, instead of to you. Only when you are in the actual event are you forced to feel those feelings associated with it. Trolls and cyberbullies have an apathetic nature towards others they hurt online, because they hide behind a screen instead of real connection with a person. When you move only from your head, you are not engaging the heart. That is where apathy can step in and become your new friend. But when the heart is not engaged, you will feel something missing in life, as if you are not balanced emotionally, moving only from the head and not engaging the heart. To seek for apathy is to try to avoid pain. But the wise thing to remember would be to know you cannot come to feeling joy by avoiding pain. There is the idea of consciously pushing down your feelings every day by telling yourself subconsciously they are damaging to let go and feel and will hurt you more. This repression of emotions hardly ever works in life, but in some cases it creates monsters in society that have done horrible things to others, such as serial killers and terrorists, that seemed like they lacked any emotions to hurt innocent people. And it is because they did. They created a state of apathy within themselves to survive the pain they went through in life. Mostly in childhood, teenage or adult life, they experienced years of abuse and trauma. They did not go through the normal process of letting go, healing, and forgiving to move on, and instead repressed their feelings of anger and sadness, eventually causing apathy. Apathy can create monsters that do things that seem heartless, but it also can just make you feel numb for a certain period of time in your life. It is one of the stages or phases of going through grief, as protection or self-defense mechanism within the mind. I know personally, after losing my mother at a young age, I experienced an emotional numbness of apathy for a few months. I did not want to face the pain, and remembered pushing away my feelings, scared to let them go, and going back to school in a matter of 2 days later. However, for me as a highly emotional being, that did not work, and eventually all my feelings came out at once in a cleansing rush of tears and screaming at the top of my lungs. I also experienced panic attacks and anxiety because I did not allow myself to feel those emotions at the time when they were present, that eventually they came up and caused panic attacks in public. Sometimes those moments of letting go can be controlled and held back, depending on how much pain and the willpower of the individual who wishes to not feel that pain. Although I would not recommend it, and it always has a way of coming back up to the surface, sometimes in a more harmful way than it would when you originally would allow yourself to feel. Feeling apathetic towards another is a moment of energetic rest within you. You are not reaching your energy towards others, and you feel as if you are not vibrating within, which causes the feelings of numbness. This is represented in an earthly element, not being watered, and so it is dry. On dry earth and soil, plants cannot grow. You are experiencing a drought within yourself, and it stops all life being brought forwards until the waters come. Water symbolizes the element of emotion, both within the body as well as outside in the spiritual and esoteric wisdom. For not all tears are an evil, as Tolkien remarked in a famous line in his stories, but a heartwarming blessing, a sign that you are alive and that life can spring forwards from your emotions, and eventually healing. No matter how painful they are, You must feel all range of emotions to get to feelings of bliss and joy. Apathy is a stripping of joy and bliss from your life. Those who experience apathy due to disease and illness is a moment of relief from other bodily pain they go through. This lesson is not about that. Your doctor will know how to help you with feelings of numbness brought on by a disease of the mind. But the people I can help are those who have consciously decided to push down their feelings to protect themselves from pain. I am here to wake you up to the logic and reason that it doesn't work and it will never make you truly happy. How you deal with pain is to understand it and move through it with courage and allow yourself to cry and feel. Then one day, or even a few minutes later after the tears, you are renewed and can now go forth in life and move on to the next experience after dealing with that anger or sadness within. To make yourself numb emotionally is never the answer to deal with your problems that exist on a very real level and still will be there until you face them. Apathy in the universe can create beings that take control of others for their amusement and want of power. They don't think of anyone except how to preserve their own place of power. It isn't about their joy because of their apathy towards themselves. It is about their devotion to making themselves feel powerful outside of emotions. So physically, with wars to grab material resources and acquire political control over others to perpetuate the false sense of control they are looking for. The future can be opposite of apathetic, where we are more empathic towards one another, where we can feel one another's feelings and act not so selfish when it comes to making sure other people are happy too within their emotions. When a species devotes themselves to experience of all emotions and does not try to make themselves apathetic, they will experience the beauty of what it means to be alive. To feel is to experience, and when a person has a spiritual awakening, they realize that consciousness began in order to feel every moment life has to offer through the whole range of emotions available. The following exercises will help you be aware of apathy creeping into your life and what you can do to heal from it. I suggest writing your answers down in a journal so you can refer to them in the future, or just listen to them and think deeply and reflect. Number 1. First, to combat apathy, you need to be aware you are in a state of numbness. Write down in your journal if you can think of any time where you did not display emotions for yourself or for others. There is a difference to keeping things down to be strong in the moment in a situation that might be inappropriate to allow yourself to be outwardly emotional. But the difference is in the numbness of feelings inside yourself. Don't judge it, just try to be aware of when it last happened. Number 2. Now, within those moments of apathy, write down why you think you may have felt numbness there. Were you hurt? Scared to feel? Trying to hide from yourself emotionally? Look deeper at the situation and try to remember what it was that caused that emotional numbness. Number 3. Now realize how you can feel more joy through processing these emotions naturally and overcoming them that way. Write down a way you could have handled the situation better and then do that next time. Be responsible with your emotions and allow yourself the chance to feel and feel for others. Number 4. The secret to not being apathetic is to cultivate empathy. And the way one can activate it is by practicing the art of placing yourself within the consciousness of another person and feeling what they feel. Next time you get into a fight with someone, take 5 deep breaths before responding and transport yourself into their situation. Try to understand their perspective and where they are coming from and why they would say the things they are saying. This will be the way to help ease the emotional pain by coming from a place of understanding for yourself and for others. And you may even avoid emotional pain that is felt through fighting with others that you love. Number 5. One of the things that helps feelings of numbness is to evoke feelings. Go watch a heart-lifting or emotionally moving movie, or read a book that you know will stir your emotions. Sometimes when you experience so much beauty in nature, it can move you to tears. If you are experiencing emotional numbness, then it may be time to go for a nice nature walk and be renewed in this way by moving from the heart chakra to feel everything around you. Number 6. I highly recommend listening to music the next time you feel an emotional numbness within you, and it frustrates you because you can't feel something, and you know you should be feeling, but you also feel very numb at that point. Turn on music. Music has the way of energetically activating the vibrations within yourself, and it will activate what it is that's dormant within you and at a state of rest, which is what apathy is energetically. Use music as a way of activation to help evoke the emotions and to make you feel something once again. Number 7. To get out of a feeling of numbness ultimately is to be patient with yourself and to give yourself permission to feel. You have every right to feel as you do. You can always be wiser in how you display them if you are concerned how emotional outbursts may look to others. But remember, everyone has emotions whether they deny them or not. Don't feel shame for how you feel. Process through them, and you will eventually heal from them once and for all. Well, class is dismissed. This concludes our lesson on apathy. So I will see you all on the next video. Enjoy your day.